Hi, I'm Larry Menti. This week on Jersey Matters, lawmakers soon moving back to Trenton. What is on the agenda? We'll talk to State Senator Vin Gopal. Also, communities rising up against violence. We'll take you to a rally in Englewood, New Jersey. And desperate efforts to save the last public hospital in the state. And now, our interview with Monmouth County State Senator Vin Gopal. We're pleased to be joined today by someone who a lot of people think should be governor someday. Senator Vin Gopal is the state senator for Monmouth County, which is the 11th senatorial district. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
What a great compliment in that some of the Democratic chairs got together, 8 of them, and said that you would make a great governor in the future.
I think it's absolutely complimentary, and it shows that we're working hard in our district, and that's what I'm focused on. We've accomplished a lot in Monmouth County in trying to move things forward as it relates to the environment and our seniors and extraordinary special education. And it's always a good thing when anyone in the state sees that collectively we're working hard in certain areas.
Well, that's not what they said. What they said is that you would be a great gubernatorial candidate in 2025. Does that interest you?
It's complimentary. I am running for re-election. I'm focused on that.
You've never thought of it?
Listen, every elected official, whether they're a council person or mayor or state legislator, they always think about other offices. But you know what? Life is a lot about timing. Right now, I'm blessed each and every day to be representing Monmouth County in the Senate, and that's what I'm focused on. And to talk about something 6 years from now, I'm worried about tomorrow.
I didn't bring it up.
Yes.
The Democratic chairs brought it up, and so I wanted to ask you about it. But as you said, it's a compliment. No matter what, it is absolutely a compliment. The summer session's almost over. We're going to get back to business in September. And there's many things on the agenda, and it seems like many things aren't getting done. Some of the big issues aren't getting done. I'm going to run through some, and you tell me if there's any hope for movement.
Sure.
Pension reform, which we've just had several guests say is the #1 problem in the state.
Yeah. Without a doubt, and I know that the Senate has put a series of bills together. I do want to credit the governor and leadership. They made the largest pension payment we've seen in some time. They're continuing to do that after years of neglect of the pension system. But there are things we need to do. I have a bill in the Senate with several of my colleagues on school district regionalization. There's a lot of cost-saving measures that are out there that I think we need to look at. But without a doubt, we have a pension crisis in the state.
And it goes beyond just making a payment, doesn't it? I mean, the system itself has to be reformed so the payments can lessen over time, or the state will keep getting downgraded, no?
Correct. I mean, look, there are fixed costs that continue to go up every year. Healthcare, cost of living, these things all go up. And so we can't tax our way out of this. We need to figure out how we can make a system that's sustainable. And we're watching what several other states are doing right now, and this is a conversation. And I think there's a way to do this without touching any current public employees' pension or their health benefits. We need to look at what we can potentially do in the future, and I think that's important. And right now, what I think leaders are doing in both houses is they're just trying to have a conversation. And unfortunately, some of my friends in some of the unions are upset just because that conversation is even happening. And I think it's important that we have that conversation. We are billions of dollars in debt in this state. Every day, I meet somebody who's ready to move to Florida or the Carolinas. We are blessed with having New York City, Philadelphia, our beautiful shoreline, but we are the most expensive state that's out there. Monmouth County, the 11th highest property taxes of any county in the country. We have to make serious changes on affordability here in New Jersey so we can keep people here.
And you know the frustration of voters and the citizenry of New Jersey is everybody acknowledges it's the biggest problem. Everybody acknowledges it's the biggest problem in the state. Every politician says, we want to fix it, we have to do something to fix it, and nothing seems to happen. I mean, you talked about the payment, that's not reforming the system.
Sure.
Is it that the unions are that powerful that they can stop any legislation?
I don't think so, and there have been a number of, especially local union leaders who have been receptive and realized that there have been changes need to be made. We saw recently with the police and firefighters where they took the pension into their own hands, and we saw how good they've been doing with the payments. But look, I've been in the Senate now a year and a half. I'm watching a lot of good bills that are coming through in a bipartisan effort. And now I think it's important for the Senate President and Speaker to get in the same room with the governor and try to at least have a conversation on some of these items because we need to make some changes. I think it's without a doubt. Every single resident in New Jersey says that property taxes is their number one issue.
Senate Speaker and the governor in the same room trying to fix a problem. Aren't they far apart on many issues, but especially this one?
I don't know. I don't believe that the governor has said anything publicly as it relates to reforming the pension system. He has been on the same page with leadership as far as making pension payments and making sure that they are increasing every year. But that's something that I hope that the governor takes an aggressive stand on. Nobody can doubt that we are billions of dollars in debt right now.
One last question on
Sure.
this, because you said no current union person should have their pension touched. And so you want to make changes for the future. Does that mean going over to a 401k?
I think everything should be on the table. I think, listen, we have specific industries like police and teachers specifically. I don't think you should ever touch a teacher's pension, present or future, because that's a very specified industry. And New Jersey, as we've seen in recent press, has some of the best schools in the country. And a lot of educators that go into that profession know they're not going to make a lot of money, but they rely on that pension. And so I would never want to do that when it comes to education, because I think we will have challenges in recruiting good teachers in the future. But I think it's absolutely important to look at other sectors in the future for future employees, especially we still have a lot of folks that are not at 40 hours. We have some folks that are grandfathered part-time getting pensions. There's a lot of cleanup we need to do. And I always point to the conversation in New Jersey, our madness of municipalities, 565 towns, 600 plus school districts, hundreds of housing authorities, sewer authorities, parking authorities, the redundant costs and services that exist when you look at waste management or IT or healthcare is out of control. And we wouldn't do this in our households. A business owner wouldn't do it at our business. There's no reason the state should be doing it.
But that's still not an answer in and of itself. I understand it can save some money, but
save a lot of money.
It's not going to save enough money unless I think a lot of people would argue that unless there's pension reform, there's no other fixes that are going to work.
Yeah, I wouldn't entirely agree with that. I think pension reform is an important piece, but without a doubt, there's an important bill that we have right now that can go from 600 school districts down to 320, has the ability to save billions and billions of dollars. There's a lot of elements that are on the table, but again, it involves leadership in all three levels of our government to get together and start figuring out what they agree, what they disagree.
You've said twice now that we need leadership in Trenton to get together and fix this. Is that? I keep talking about pension reform as the biggest problem. Is the biggest problem is that people aren't getting along?
Look, it's well publicized. Specifically, the governor and Senate president have had challenges. I think there's enough blame to go all the way around, but it's important that, and I think the Senate president even recently said that, personal feelings aside, what this is in the best interest of the state of New Jersey, we need to work together. And I think he kind of extended an olive branch recently in the press. I think it's important. Yeah, they got to get in the room, and we've got a lot of different players and a lot of different personalities. But at the end of the day, we have to do what's in the best interest of the residents of New Jersey.
It just looks bad for New Jersey after a while. That nothing seems to be able to get done, and that there's this infighting. I would imagine it's difficult to work in that environment.
As a Democrat, it's not a good look when we have all three elements of government, the Assembly, the Senate, and the governor, and we're having trouble and challenges well publicized and not getting along. I don't think that's healthy. It was good to see some of the leaders extend an olive branch recently, and hopefully they all try to work together and not make anything personal.
I know there was the best of intentions in reforming the school funding formula, but there's some real problems, and I'd like to talk about that when we continue our conversation with Senator Vin Gopal when Jersey Matters comes right back.